very good evening to you and welcome to Primetime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Azra Hassan. Good evening, Joel.
A very good evening, Azra. A very good evening to all our viewers. I'm Joel Outsgood. We start off today with a look at the headlines.
Meeting between President and Opposition Leader. American Ambassador to Sri Lanka meets Speaker and Opposition Leader. Manusha Nanayakaru resigns from post of Deputy Minister. Heavy rainfall continues. Spill gates of 16 reservoirs opened. Landslide warnings issued to 4 districts. Rangana Herat sets record at final test match.
On to our lead story now. President Maithripalas held discussions with leader of the Tamil National Alliance, R. Sambandhan, yesterday.
Deepavali celebrations at the Presidential Secretariat were held last evening with the participation of the leader of the TNA R. Sambandhan, leader of the EPDP Douglas Devananda and Angajan Ramanathan upon the invitation extended by President Maithripalas. Discussions between the President and the leader of the opposition took place subsequent to the festive celebrations. Personally, we didn't speak about a lot of things. The Deepavali celebration is held every year and I have attended all of them. Every time I attend these celebrations, I speak about the national interests. My objective is to solve these issues before the next Deepavali, but we haven't received the solution yet.
Will there be a solution before the next Deepavali?
The President should make that decision. There has been many political changes. This has raised suspicion among the Tamil community, so I requested the President to give an answer. The President then told me what he thinks. He admitted that the Tamil people's votes were also behind his victory. I told him that the Tamil people have not received a solution yet and requested for him to provide a solution immediately. I hope we will receive a solution before the next Deepavali.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa attended a memorial service of late D.A. Rajapaksa this morning.
The 51st memorial of veteran politician late D.A. Rajapaksa was held in Tangol today. A large number of politicians and family members were present at the event and paid floral tribute to the D.A. Rajapaksa memorial. The memorial service was held at the Tangol Town Hall.
Ranil Wickremesinghe was at Temple Trees today as well. He held discussions with a number of parties at the venue.
Discussions on the protest march scheduled to be staged in Colombo on the 9th of this month were headed by Ranil Wickremesinghe at Temple Trees today. Following the meeting, Ranil Wickremesinghe met with the Maha Sangha gathered at the main hall and obtained blessings. Ranil Wickremesinghe was seen leaving the main hall at Temple Trees.
Elena B. Teplitz, the US Ambassador to Sri Lanka, met with Speaker of Parliament Karu Jayasuriya today.
The meeting was to discuss the importance of reconvening of the parliament to put an end to this political crisis. In a tweet, the ambassador states, "These democratic institutions should serve the people of Sri Lanka and let the elected representatives have their say." In a tweet, opposition leader R. Sambandhan says discussions were held about the current political situation of the country with the US ambassador to Sri Lanka. During the meeting, which was held at the opposition leader's official residence, the opposition leader has also informed the US ambassador that the new Prime Minister was appointed unconstitutionally. The opposition leader has also said that the proroguing of parliament was an undemocratic act and that the country needs US to assist in fulfilling the promises made to the United Nations Human Rights Council. Meanwhile, the Commonwealth Secretary-General spokesperson said Secretary-General Patricia Scotland emphasized the importance of the role of Parliament as provided for under the Constitution and expressed hope that Parliament would meet as soon as possible to resolve the current crisis in the country. The Secretary-General encouraged the political leaders and people of Sri Lanka to engage in constructive dialogue and ensure that the country's constitution and the rule of law is upheld. The Commonwealth remains ready to assist and will collaborate with other international partners to provide support if required by the government and people of Sri Lanka.
UPFA MP of the Galle district, Manushananayakara, has resigned from his deputy ministerial portfolio and extended his support to Ranil Wickremesinghe. Expressing his views to the media, the MP stated that he will act to protect democracy in the country.
On the 1st of November, MP Manushananayakara was sworn in as the Deputy Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment. However, the MP submitted his resignation to President Maithripalas today. Accordingly, the letter stated that until the ruling party declares majority, the MP is compelled to accept Parliament in its previous state and abide by the Speaker's statement. The MP further stated that he will not continue in a position that is not supported by the Constitution. In his letter to the President, the MP stated that he agrees with the statement made by the Speaker and therefore accepts Ranil Wickremesinghe as the Prime Minister who claims majority in Parliament. Subsequent to submitting his resignation, MP Manushananayakara met with Ranil Wickremesinghe at Temple Trees today. As a person who respects democracy and made sacrifices to protect democracy in this country, I resigned from my position since it was an act against democracy. My fight to re-establish democracy in the country will commence from tomorrow. Another 15 MPs and ministers have promised to extend their support to us and express their opposition to the unconstitutional Prime Minister. As the General Secretary of the UNP, I state that this should be recorded and replayed when voting takes place.
Now, Deputy Minister of Ports and Shipping, Nishantha Muthuhettigama, expressed his views to the media in Galle today.
The ruling party is capping its members these days. However, these caps fall off. But I believe all these caps will end up on our side. He has not joined the UNP. He has resigned from his position as Deputy Minister due to some issues. I did not meet him. I was informed that he has gone overseas. He spoke to me this morning. There are a few more days to go. We hope to re-establish our majority before the 14th. We have 113 MPs on our side. Minister Rishad Badruddin and Rauf Hakim will join us by tomorrow evening. Manushananayakara has submitted his resignation to the President. Anyone who looks at his political history can see that he is a person who acted for his personal gains. And currently he has signed a letter in English typed out by someone and is spending his time luxuriously at a 5-star hotel in Singapore. Currently there is an allegation that those who cross over to Mahinda Rajapaksa's side have received bribes. But we believe that the people who cross over from this side to the other have received something. We are saddened by the situation that Manushananayakara has fallen to, but any decision can change in the future.
Here are some views expressed by the party representatives of the United National Front at Temple Trees today.
As the All Ceylon Makkal Congress, we are of the stance that the democracy in this country should be safeguarded. If we are unable to protect this democracy, history will curse us. Because of that, we urge the Speaker to reconvene Parliament and hand this over to the person who has a majority. We have received information that the Governor of the Eastern Province is the person behind the operation for this MP. We were thinking about changing the Governor of the Eastern Province. We have been informed that he is doing work on both sides. I would like to request the Eastern Provincial Governor not to conduct such businesses. All members of our party are united. We have strengthened the message given to us through the communique issued by the Speaker yesterday. The TNA and the JVP issued a statement. They too are with us on this. This is not politics. They have joined us to protect democracy in the country. We ask for Parliament to be reconvened immediately. We will come there and decide. We are on one side, and that's the side of democracy. I would like to tell the President that he was appointed to work for democracy. There were white vans and all sorts of other things. We left all those behind and came here. There have been no reports of such incidents now.
Well, following up on news still here at home, now a group of ministers who joined the new government recently convened a media briefing at the Prime Minister's office today.
We do not worry about the money that was exchanged. Some politicians obtained money. Some obtained information from Facebook saying that the needful is being done. I have taken the legal measures against them. I accepted this position from the President happily. Those who voted for me are also happy. That's why we have stopped the cases filed in courts. We see a progress in the 1,000 rupee salary issue. We first have to save our country to do all of this. Someone has uploaded a picture of me at temple trees. Certain people do this using old pictures. There is a higher tendency of the Tamil National Alliance to support Ranil. They supported the budget and also during the no confidence motion vote. They will support at this juncture too. The people want them to hold a neutral stance. If the TNA is independent, I will also be independent. Is it right to sit at the opposition and support the government? I did not change parties. I'm here because of the invitation extended by the President. I did not meet the Prime Minister. If the TNA supports Ranil, I will support Mahinda Rajapaksa. I have presented 11 issues to the government. Even if 30% is not fulfilled, I will go against the government.
Ranil Wickremesinghe and Mangala Samaravira had responded to the statement made by President Maithripalas at the Jana Mahime rally yesterday.
Issuing a tweet, Ranil Wickremesinghe said, quote-unquote, whatever President Sirisena's personal issues with me may be, he should not hold the people he has been elected to serve to ransom by plunging the country into constitutional chaos through his illegal and immoral actions. Mangala Samaravira also tweeted saying, quote-unquote, I would rather be a butterfly than a leech, Mr. President.
I believe it was us they referred to as butterflies. Butterflies is a good thing. The symbol of my previous political party was also a butterfly. I was at that meeting as well. During the meeting, we discussed and informed the foreign representatives regarding the Speaker's statement and claiming a majority in Parliament. Anyone can accommodate that chair, and this does not mean anything. No one in the world accepts the appointment of the new Prime Minister. 113 seats should be claimed, and we have already submitted this. When I visited the President to wish him for the new year, he said that he waited up till 2 a.m. and he knew that I will not come. The President is aware of who I am. I will not do such a thing. I do not want to be the Prime Minister by backstabbing someone else. President Maithripala Sirisena has seen Mahinda Rajapaksa as the third option. We are sad that Mahinda Rajapaksa went in as the third option. What is really happening here is a political crisis, and Maithripala Sirisena hit out at Mahinda Rajapaksa. With that alone, it is clear that Karu Jayasuriya and Sajith Premadasa has set an example to the entire nation. Can the post of Prime Minister be given out like it was given to Mahinda Rajapaksa just after holding discussions with that individual? The entire world knows that the President of this country acts insane without the capacity to handle the power he is vested with. He did not leave this place to be bowing before the embassies. Even I asked him to come to my home and to have some food. He is waiting until someone comes and forces him out. Ambassadors come finding us. Mahinda Rajapaksa told Maithripala Sirisena to his face that he would have not taken a decision like this. That means that this decision is below the standards of even Mahinda Rajapaksa. Maithripala Sirisena is trying to go for a presidential election with the support of the Pohottua. We are also waiting until the presidential election. It will be easier for us to defeat you sooner.
The National Unity Alliance convened a media briefing this morning.
The history of the UNP goes back 71 years. 6 great leaders of the UNP have remained in power for a total of 47 years. However, Ranil Wickremesinghe alone has remained as leader for 25 years. As stated by the President, it is a group of butterflies that has surrounded Sitikota, and Ranil Wickremesinghe is also one of them. Is this the same group of butterflies that surrounded temple trees? These butterflies are also responsible for the economic crisis. Who bears responsibility for this? It is none other than Malik Samaravikrama himself. What they could not achieve in 25 years, President Maithripalas made it a reality. The people are now aware that the UNP cannot fight against the leadership. They only show their colours opposite the temple trees. Were they able to achieve any of this? No, they failed. The failure of such a massive political organisation is a betrayal to all UNP supporters in the country. Ranil Wickremesinghe has destroyed the dreams of UNPers who looked forward to see a UNP government in the future.
Members of the United National Party, including MP Nalin Bandara, arrived at the police headquarters this evening. They were carrying a letter by Ranjit Madhuma Bandara informing the Inspector General of Police on how to act, as he is still the minister in charge of the subject.
Nalin Bandara said they arrived at the police headquarters to inspect the activities of the institution and deliver a letter by the subject minister, Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, and a number of other letters on the security of ministers. Even though the responsible officials were not present, a police inspector accepted the letter. Minister Ranjit Madhuma Bandara is in charge of the police. He made a special request along with a copy of the Speaker's statement to restore security for the Prime Minister and other ministers. This is the police headquarters, the heart of security in the country. However, all officers have been closed and only one sergeant is present. He was trying to take us in the lift and trying to make us sit there. When they finally contacted the IGP, he was at home, resting. I first asked the IGP to read the constitution. I will take legal action against him. I will file action demanding for compensation for threats posed to my life and the inconveniences caused. Ranjit Bandara has issued a letter to the ministry secretaries and heads of state institutions. The Speaker issued a statement saying that he will accept the state of Parliament that existed before the change until the new faction can show a majority in Parliament. Thereby, it is very clear that the circulars issued by the new ministries to the state sector employees are null and illegal and should not be accepted. We would also like to inform that steps will be taken to file action against those who enact decisions that are null and illegal, and the losses caused to the government by those actions will be recovered from them. The Honourable Speaker has made it clear that until this new faction shows a majority in Parliament, we are the governing party. Therefore, Ranil Wickremesinghe should sit on the seat of the Prime Minister.
Ranil Wickremesinghe මැතිතුමා තමයි කතාන මේ අගමැතිපුටුවේ වාඩි වෙන්න ඕන.
ඒ කියන්නේ 14 වෙනිදා ඔබතුමාලා ඒ ආසනවල ඒ දින වාඩි වෙනවා.
ඒ ආසන අපිට හිමි අපි වාඩි වෙනවා.
We will sit on the seats that belong to us. The Speaker will decide who sits there.
දුකරයි කවුද වාඩි වෙන්නේ.
Now, when inquired about MP Ranjit Madhuma Bandara's letter, here's what Prime Minister's Secretary S. Amarasekara had to say.
According to the Constitution, if a minister has not been appointed to a certain ministry, it will function under the President. A minister has not been appointed to the Ministry of State Administration, so that particular ministry will fall under the President. We do not have a Minister of State Administration now. If a circular is being issued, that can only be done by the President. If someone claims that he is the Minister of State Administration, that is a fraud. If circulars have been issued, that will be a fraudulent document. So if something like that has taken place, we will have to hand this case over to the CID.
Propaganda Secretary of the Frontline Socialist Party, Pubutu Jagoda, expressed these views at a media briefing held in Colombo today.
For the past 3 years, Ranil and his faction did not speak a word about democracy. They remembered democracy after they were chased out. Nobody questioned the state of democracy when an act was passed to collect the fingerprints of the general public, store it and spy on them. When the Prevention of Terrorism Act was being abolished and an even more dangerous act was being passed, and when local government elections were postponed by 3.5 years and laws were passed to postpone provincial council elections, the question of democracy that affect the general public of this country are not questions of democracy for them. Now, questions of democracy are only the problems of the ruling class. Proroguing Parliament is seen as a problem to democracy when the Prime Minister is changed and there is a shift in power. In the same way, the COPE committee was under D.W. Gunasekara. They presented an interim report on the bond scam in 2015. The interim report stated that the former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe should be held responsible for the bond scam. The President, using his power, dissolved Parliament after the report was tabled. Then nobody said that this was wrong, but it was done to throw this report to the bin. Then nobody said this was wrong, and that this was done to throw this report to the bin.
Now, the festival of Deepavali is celebrated by Hindus throughout the world today, symbolizing the victory of light over darkness and knowledge over ignorance to inculcate noble values such as spiritual discipline and wisdom in the hearts of the people.
Hindu devotees light lamps and engage in religious activities with the hope of spreading the light. They reminisce their departed loved ones, engage in religious activities at the Kovil and enjoy sweet meats. Deepavali is also a unique cultural festival that builds deep bonds of love and kindness between people.
In some weather-related news, now the Met Department says due to the influence of the low-pressure system in the vicinity of Sri Lanka, showery and cloudy condition is expected to continue over the island and in surrounding sea areas. The National Building Research Organisation says landslide warnings have been issued for several areas in Ratnapura, Kandy, Nuwara and Maithripala districts. The highest rainfall of 270 millimeters in the 24 hours that ended at 8:30 this morning was recorded from Batiklo. The Met Department stated that a rainfall of 232.7 millimeters had been recorded from Kadiriveli and 195 millimeters of rain had been recorded from Rantambe. The sluice gates of several reservoirs have been opened as a result of the heavy rains. Sluice gates of 8 main reservoirs have been opened in the Anuradhapura district. Several alternative routes that led to the holy city in Anuradhapura have been inundated. 8 out of the 32 sluice gates of the Rajangani reservoir have been opened. 4 sluice gates have been opened by 2 feet each and 4 others have been opened by 4 feet. Thereby, 6,800 cubic feet of water is released to the Malbatu Oya per second. The water of these reservoirs are released to the Malbatu Oya and people living in the lowline areas beside the Malbatu Oya are advised to remain vigilant. 10 sluice gates of the Parakrama Samudra have been opened. The water level of the Mahavali river has increased as a result. 4 automatic sluice gates of the Victoria reservoir have been opened. The people living in Kotmale, Randanigala and other lowline areas in the vicinity are advised to remain vigilant. 2 people were killed and another 3 people were injured after a tree collapsed onto a 3-wheeler in the Garudagala area in Udupusa Lava. The National Building Research Organisation said landslide warnings have been issued for Ratnapura, Kandy, Nuwara and Maithripala districts. The NBRO requests general public living in these areas to remain vigilant.
Well, on that note, we wrap this edition of Primetime News. If you missed out on any story, simply log on to our award-winning website, which is www.newsfirst.lk. For the news team, I'm Joel Outscourt.
And I'm Azra Hassan. Thank you for stopping by. Take care and good night.